What is up, everybody, and welcome to From the Sidelines. I am CJ alongside Cody. We're here every single Sunday at 8 p.m., and we're talking NFL football today. And obviously, if you're looking at the title right now, you see that Baker Mayfield is having himself a season, and we will talk about that shortly. It's been an absolutely great start to the season for him and the Buccaneers. Make sure you let us know about what you guys are thinking, what you guys are feeling as we talk about each topic, each game that has happened today so far. Going to be very involved with the comments. Drop them down in the comment section below. Let us know who your team is. Let us know how you guys feeling. We'll get all our feelings out today. It's just me and Cody, so we'll be able to really vent and let out how we truly feel today in a nice, safe place. But Cody, before we get into anything, how are you doing today?
Doing well, man. It's been a pretty good day. It was a little sleepy Sunday morning. There was a lot of blowouts in the morning, but there's some good games at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Last week I was in Atlanta to go see the Commanders play, and that sucked. To be honest with you, I was thinking watching Jaden play, or watching Jaden be practicing that whole week. So I was like, okay, perfect, because that's the whole reason I wanted to make this trip to Atlanta. It's like I'm gonna go see Jaden live. I'm gonna be, it's gonna be awesome. But he didn't play. They sat him out for another week, and we lost. And so that also sucked. So it's fine. It's fine. We're fine.
Right.
But I still had fun. And whatever. Who cares, I guess. Who cares?
Right.
On to this week. We'll talk about the Commanders a little bit later. If you guys are Commanders fans, let us know down in the comment section. Let's get started with the 1 p.m. game of the day. And that is the Broncos versus the Eagles. Let me know. Okay, so let us know your comments down if you're watching. How you guys feeling about the Eagles? Because the Eagles dominate, right? We started to see these big plays. We've seen a 52-yard catch by Deontay Smith. Obviously, the Eagles highlights are playing as I'm talking. Big ball to Devontae Smith down the right sideline, obviously on Raleigh Moss. So obviously before the game today, Deanna Ricidi, I think, she said that both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are frustrated in their role in the offense. And so obviously you're hearing that playing against a really good secondary in the Broncos. And you just know that, the Eagles are just going to do whatever it takes to win the game. It doesn't really matter. And they're always about that team atmosphere, the team. But at the same time, you got two wide receiver ones on the side, 1 and 1B, right? 1A, 1B.
Right.
And, they've not getting that the looks that that they want. On that point alone, Cody, how do you feel? Do you feel like they're making unnecessary drama, or do you think they have something there with their concerns, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith?
No, I think there's something there. So they both had a decent day today. Devontae had a nice day, eight catches, 114 yards. A.J. Brown, 543, so just kind of an average day. So I think there's something there. I just think this offense isn't built to be like an aerial attack. It's not built to be just killing you with the passing game. They run the ball with their running back with Barkley. They run the ball with Jalen Hurts, and they play defense, and that's how they win games. I know that's not what it looked like in the Super Bowl, but everything was clicking for them in the Super Bowl, so it was perfect. But if you watch them kind of week in and week out, that's how they win. And it looks like they were kind of forcing the passing game a little bit today. They only had 45 total rushing yards as a team. And so it's I understand you want to try to force the ball to these guys, but not if you're losing games, not if it leads to the detriment of your team. So I think there's something there. I just think it's not a good fit. Those two guys, they're good outside wide receivers. They're downfield threats. And Jalen Hurts, every now and then he could pop and have a great game and throw the ball downfield, but that's not his game. That's never really been his game, going all the way back to Alabama, Oklahoma days. He has a good arm. He could throw the ball downfield, but not consistently. And I just feel like he doesn't see the field the greatest, so he doesn't get the ball out to these guys enough. It's a lot of Dallas Goedert. It's the backside of the backfield. It's him running around making plays. And I just think both of these guys, I think they're great players. And obviously you won the Super Bowl last year, so you probably shouldn't be complaining, but they're also guys, they're looking to, get paid again, although A.J. Brown's already been paid twice. but they're looking to get more money in the future. So the only way they're going to do that is to get stats. And I just don't know if their stats are going to be what they could be if they had quarterbacks like a Jared Goff or someone like that, like a Josh Allen or someone who could get them the ball more consistently. I just don't see them getting the ball consistently with Jalen Hurts. Every now and then they'll have a big game, but just not on a consistent basis. So I think they do have legitimate concerns, but I mean, you win the Super Bowl, your team's 4-1. How much can you really complain at that point?
Yeah, like again, it's one of those things that it's like I'm watching the highlights and I see, Jalen just really overthrowing AJ Brown after he's like, getting open and he's doing all this work. And I think obviously they have a new offensive coordinator this year, and then the offensive coordinator comes out after like a lack of passing attack for the Eagles, and they go, "Oh yeah, we're going to run the ball even more with Jalen Hurts." What? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And so, and the thing is, again, like in the Super Bowl, we know Jalen Hurts is capable of having big days, right? Like last year was kind of the same tune in terms of questioning Jalen about like, okay, what are we doing here? He averaged like maybe 150 yards a game up until the playoffs, right? And it was just like, what are we doing? And then all of a sudden in the playoffs, he just showed up. Oh yeah, I can throw the football. We can throw it all over the yard, throw for 300 yards plus. It's like, so like, we know it's in there. Is it growing pains with the new offensive coordinator? Right?
Maybe.
Is it just maybe Jalen Hurts is not that good? Right? Obviously, that whole Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback thing after winning the Super Bowl. That whole argument is going, and now they can't seem to feed AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, because like I get that you have like your offensive player of the year, behind you with Saquon Barkley, but like I think like this offense is too good on all levels for you not to have this thing moving more seamlessly. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think it is scheme. I also think it is mentality. I think there's low-key been a falling out between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts because, I mean, they were best friends. That's why A.J. Brown was one of the main people – or Jalen Hurts was one of the main people to help get A.J. Brown to the Eagles from the Tennessee Titans. And now it's like, it just seems like they hate each other, or from outside looking in. So I don't know. They had a lot of chances to do well. It's just not clicking in the passing game, obviously, and it's not clicking in the running game. But they keep winning. They keep finding a way to win games. They push every once in a while to get a nice little tush push. And I don't know. I think the Eagles will probably figure it out. But I mean, it could be a bit of a Super Bowl slump. Super Bowl slump with losing their first game today. So I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. The Eagles they're so talented, but it doesn't look pretty.
Well, today it was like, because I watched a lot of that game off and on, and it looked like they were just trying to force it. And it's like, you knew like it wasn't going to be a huge AJ Brown day because, I mean, he's got Pat Surtain on him all game, and Pat Surtain's, probably top 2 or 3, if not in the best corner in the league. So it's like, you knew. That's why I think Devontae Smith ended up having a big game. So you knew it wasn't going to be a huge day for him, but it seemed like they were just forcing it to him. And I think when it comes to that, when you start forcing it to a guy because he's complaining, I think that's kind of when things are really starting to unravel a little bit. I don't know if there's a trade. I don't think they would trade him, but I think there's talks about it because I don't know. Like you said, we've seen Jalen Hurts do it, and kudos to him. Like his best games are the biggest games. He's 2 Super Bowls he played in. He balled out. He's balled out in the playoffs multiple times as well. So kudos to him. But it's like, that narrative always seems to kind of creep up in the regular season somewhere. It's like, okay, these guys outside, whether it's Smith or usually it's AJ Brown, it's like you can't get on the ball. And it's like AJ Brown's 6'3", 220 and runs like a 4.5 40. It's like, how can you not get that guy the ball? But it's like, I don't know. I just feel like this narrative's come around too much. And I don't know if their team is well-rounded enough to overcome it like they did last year. So I think this conversation is going to be even more. And if days like this happen, where it's like he gets 5 catches, you threw it to him 9 times, and I think that could get a little tight there. I think they'll win plenty of games. I think the Commanders will probably end up competing for that division, even though the Cowboys are having a little resurgence here. But I still don't. They were playing the Jets today, so that could be a little bit of the Jets. So that could be a conversation later. But yeah, I feel like this conversation happens too often. It's like the third year in a row we've had this conversation. So I think at some point maybe there has to be a change.
I agree. Okay, so let's go ahead into the 4:00 hour and let us know your comments down. We'll respond to your comments, whatever you guys got on your mind. Let us know down in the comments. Get involved in the conversation today. And we're going to go over to the 4:00 game, where this game was probably the game of the day. Yeah, I'm going to say this is the game of the day for sure. And the Bucs win in late fashion with the late interception of Sam Darnold on the final drive in literally the worst place, where all they needed was a couple first downs, and they were back in, back in field goal range again for McLaughlin to just, kick another game-winning field goal for him. And, Baker does it again. Big day. I had a graphic that I wanted to talk about because the two Ohio State receivers both today were absolutely insane today. JSN and Smith-Njigba. So Smith-Njigba had 8 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown. And then we had Njigba, 7 catches, 163 yards, and 1 touchdown. Safe to say, going to be Ohio State versus LSU receivers going to go, who's wide receiver you? And right now, I think you might have to give Ohio State the edge right now with these two guys kind of really balling out. But yeah, 2 really good receivers. But I think the biggest thing that I want to talk about is how everyone said he was down and out. Everyone was saying that, he would never play again, bad quarterback. But Baker freaking Mayfield is right now probably the leading leader, for me, in the MVP race of the NFL. He is leading his team. He looks good. He has a dynamic receivers, honestly. But Emeka is just, I didn't expect them to draft him either. So it was kind of like, dang, at 19, I wish he would have been there for us, but obviously that'd be too late. But he's been absolutely dynamic, and it was actually a steal. It was a steal, which I think 19 was the same spot that JJ went. Or no, JJ went 21. 20.
Yeah, I think he went 21 after Rager, I think, went like 20 or something like that, right? Yeah. That was wow.
But yeah, these are 2 really good teams. I mean, the Seahawks are playing pretty good ball. They have obviously Sam Darnold's still trying to get his legs. He's been pretty solid himself today. But just a costly late turnover, because if they just would have took care of the ball, at least at the worst case scenario happened, he threw a pick. But even if they just didn't get anything going, they could have had another chance to compete in overtime. But just a terrible pick. I think Levante David got that interception, and just tough. Obviously, it was a battle of OG retro classic jersey, so a really good jersey game if you're a fan of NFL throwbacks. But Cody, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I'm with you. This was the game of the day. Going into this game, I was pretty high. I thought it was going to be a good one, and yeah, you got Darnold and Baker, both guys that were kind of left for dead. 2-3 years ago, their careers was supposed to be dead. I think was that the 2016 draft. It was 1-3 overall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was 2016 draft. But yeah, both these guys were left for dead. I mean, Darnold played out of his mind too. He just had that looked like he got tipped a little bit at the line, that interception, but still he kind of was backing up and then kind of jumped and threw it. Probably should have just taken the sack and kind of maybe go to overtime at that point. But I mean, Baker Mayfield, like you said, I think he is the favorite right now for MVP. I mean, these numbers, 29 of 33. So he only had 4 incompletions, 379 yards and 2 touchdowns. The dude just balling, and he's just a gamer now. It's he runs the ball hard too. He's making plays with his legs. He obviously makes plays with his arms. This is all without Mike Evans, who's been his safety blanket there in Tampa Bay. Now that might be Emeka Egbuka, but he's just, I mean, Baker Mayfield, you can't say enough about this guy. He's just totally 180 his career, and now he's found a spot in Tampa Bay. They trust him a lot. They love him there. So I think this team is a sneaky team, maybe in the NFC, to maybe make a run to get out of the NFC. I think they have most of the pieces. I think their defense could be what ends up costing them in the end, because they do give up a lot of points on a weekly basis. But this offense, and once you get Mike Evans back to go with the Buka, and Chris Godwin gets to 100%, he's played the last couple of weeks, but you can tell he's not quite 100%. But then you got Rashad White and Bucky Irving out of the backfield. Like, this offense is always going to be able to score points, and Baker Mayfield just kind of leading them here. I think, yeah, Daniel Jones, like I said in the text earlier, I think he's second right now, but he might be a distant second, because it looks like Baker Mayfield is like he's not the runaway MVP. We're only 5 weeks into the season, but he's definitely would have my vote right now, and he should be the odds-on favorite. I want to say going into the season he was like 30-1 or something like that for MVP. So that would have been a nice play if I was able to get that. But now he's probably like, I don't know, 5-1 or something like that. So definitely maybe not worth it now. But yeah, great game, both sides. And yeah, the Ohio State wide receivers, I think there's more depth from Ohio State, because you still got Garrett Wilson, Olave, Terry McLaurin. So you still got like more depth but LSU maybe has the two best wide receivers, but I think Ohio State and Marvin Harrison's all of a sudden turned it on, and now he's playing well and looking like he could be something. I don't know if he'll be what everybody thought he would be, but he's at least somewhat decent. So I think Ohio State is wide receiver U right now, but LSU's right there. There's some other schools. I think USC has some decent depth at wide receiver as well, with St. Brown and Drake London and Pittman. Some decent guys around there, Jordan Addison. So, but Baker Mayfield, I think MVP is definitely right now. He's the MVP of the league, and Tampa Bay I would be a decent bet for them to win the NFC right now. It probably wouldn't be a great money bet, but I think they should be one of the favorites in the NFC.
Okay. So two corrections, just so we can be as accurate as possible. 2018 draft, it was that Baker.
2018. I was wondering. I was like, 2016 sounds too long ago.
Yeah, it did. I was like, yeah, that's. I think that was Sam Bradford year. I mean, this draft is now starting to look pretty good now, with Baker first overall, Saquon, Sam Darnold, Denzel Ward is hit or miss, Bradley Chubb, Josh Allen, Roquan Smith, the chosen one. Vita Veda was in this one. Which is cool. James. Wow. Jared may be cooked. I think Frank Ragnar just retired.
Yeah,
DJ Moore.
This last offseason.
DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Rashad Penny. I didn't know Rashad Penny was a first-round pick. Oof.
Yeah, I didn't think he was a first-round pick either.
And then Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Lamar ended the first round.
So that's a really good quarterback draft right now. So
that is, solid.
But yeah, and then also that last play the replay was just playing on my TV. Sam Darnold bounced it like skidded off a defender's
like helmet. A helmet or something. Yeah,
it bounced off the helmet, and so which is just the worst.
But it looked like he was like fading back and then like jumped and through. It was just like, just take the sack, bro. Like, you probably go to OT or you punt it away, and then they got to drive to get in the field goal range. But yeah, it just kind of sours like a really good day for Darnold. I thought he was awesome too. 341 yards, 4 touchdowns. But yeah, that pick that's like the last image you see of him in that game. So it's kind of hard to get that out of your head.
Exactly. And the last thing I'll say about this game is that the Bucs, I mean, you could probably say that they cruise to their easy NFC South, even though the Falcons can get better. I think after seeing them up close, I think the Falcons do have a decent offense, but we got to see the consistency. Like, we have to see the consistency with that offense, and if they can start generating more pressure on their defense. And I think they can grow throughout the season. I really do like Michael Penix. Like, obviously, getting benched against the Panthers wasn't ideal, but I just think it was more so just like, it wasn't a real benching. It was just like, hey, just go sit down. We all had a bad day. Let's just forget about this and come back out next week. And they did. They had a great day against the Commanders, unfortunately. And, I don't know. We'll see. But I do like – I mean, Bucs already have like one win over them this year. So, I mean, you can say that the Buccaneers pretty much have this division pretty wrapped up, but you never know what happens. And things
they did win in Atlanta already too. They won that opener in Atlanta, so that hurts. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next game and let's talk about the Panthers' fourth quarter comeback. Bryce, I mean, listen, we just said that you know this division is pretty wrapped up, but this game I feel like was so pivotal in so many ways for Bryce because it's just been bad. Like it's just been bad football in the Carolinas. Whether it's college football, whether it's the NFL, the Carolinas is having terrible football right now at the moment. We got an old man who wants to play with his young girlfriend but doesn't want to be on the field coaching. You got, terribleness in, Charlotte. Football looks terrible. Carolina football looks terrible. Clemson football looked better, but it was against Carolina.
It was against North Carolina,
So it's like,
yeah.
And then, with the Panthers, it's like they, when you look at the roster construction, their linebacker core is disgusting. Like their D line is okay, but they went all in. Like I feel like they keep going all in on the offense 2 years in a row and kind of saying whatever. Like, if we can score points, then we'll be okay. And obviously when you get a big injury to Jalen Coker, who they hope to be back next week. I haven't heard much about if they open up his injury window or not, but they definitely need another spark. Obviously, Xavier Legette gets a touchdown today. Bryce is that. I think Bryce is good, and they did lose to two of their interior offensive linemen, which I mean that's a big blow because I think they did construct a really good offensive line, especially interior wise. But I think if they can run the ball with Rico Dowdle for 200 yards today, if they can get their running game going, I really think that the Panthers can be a team. Because Bryce is a gamer. Like as much as it's hard to as much as it's easy to make the jokes about him not seeing over his offensive line and all that stuff like that. But Bryce is a gamer, and as long as you give him competency around him, he can be a point guard. Like he can be a guy that, really shines. And I don't know. Obviously today showing that, I mean, Rico Dowdle, 23 carries for 206 yards and a touchdown. Tua had a really good day too, 27 to 36, 256 and 3 touchdowns. Waddle, finally wide receiver 110 yards and a touchdown on 6 catches. It was a good day for both teams. A-Chain not running the ball well, 10 carries for 16 yards.
No.
So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't for Mike McDaniel, which is his hot seat is probably boiling right now.
Big time. Yeah.
Honestly, this game was a hot seat game if you want to, really talk about it.
Both
coaches, I do like
Canales.
Yeah, Dave Canales. But I don't know, it's just something off with this team. This is definitely devoid of a lot of talent, and and it's hard for them to really they have to win these tough games and grind games out in order for them to really allure and get good talent in the free agency, right? Unless you just want to have to pay the loser tax, and which they did with both of their guards last year with Rob Hunt and I forget the other one, but I don't know. What do you think? So what do you think about the Panthers and the Dolphins today?
Well, yeah, I mean, it started off pretty quickly. You're barely into the second quarter and it's 17-0 Miami Dolphins, and it looked bad. And they came off getting hammered last week. The Panthers did. So it was it was going to be really bad. And Bryce Young was struggling. I think I always thought the height thing would be an issue. It looks like it's just hard for him to see the field. And that's what it looked like in the first half. But they got it together and they pulled it together, and Rico Dowdle rushed for over 200 yards. Who saw that coming? I think he was a lot of waiver wire pickups today, or maybe people just saw him on their bench getting a ton of points, but that was huge there. And if you can have that consistency, and then obviously Xavier Legette came, he showed up out from the freaking witness protection program or something like that. He was already a bust in most people's eyes. And so he had his best game by far. Jimmy Horn had his first game, and he caught some balls late in the game as well. So if you can get some consistency on offense, I think they're going to have to score probably in the mid-20s, the low 30s every week, because their defense just isn't that good. But if you can have those guys to go along with Tedero McMillan, Chuba Hubbard gets healthy again, maybe you can have some decent offensive play. And when you protect Bryce Young and he has decent weapons out there, he can distribute the ball. That's what he was great at Alabama. Yeah, he played with great. I mean, it was Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith and other guys when he was there. I think he was actually after that group, but he still had just elite wide receivers. But he can be a point guard and distribute the ball. Like, he is good at that. He's been doing that since his modern day days in Southern California in high school. So like, he can definitely do that. And when you have T-Mac, if Leggett can do anything, now you got Horn back there. Their tight end had some good catches as well. Then you can run the football. Maybe this team can start to get some consistency. I don't think they're anywhere near competing for the division, but maybe you can actually have like a decent season where you can build off of some things. And then looking at the other side for Miami, this could end up being like does this game, you blow a 17-point lead against the Panthers, does this cost Mike McDaniel's job? You're 1-4 now. Your only win is against an 0-5 Jets team at home, which you own. Like, I don't think the Jets have won in Miami, like, I don't know, since like the Obama administration, basically. I mean, maybe even before. It could be since like the Bush administration. Like, they haven't won in Miami in forever. And so it's like you always beat the Jets at home. So yeah, I think this game, I wouldn't be shocked if you get that notification tomorrow morning, Monday morning, the Dolphins have fired Mike McDaniel, because you just can't have that. You can't blow a 17-point lead. I know you're without Tyreek Hill, but you were still going up and down the field on this defense. Waddle was having a big game. You had other Darren Waller all of a sudden is like tight end, like number 3 in fantasy going on right now. So like, he's crushing it. And then you just went like dead. You just went silent. And then all of a sudden you get a little bit at the end there, but just too little too late. And then you couldn't get a stop at the end there either. So I think this game could end up, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if we wake up tomorrow morning and Mike McDaniel's no longer the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, because you can't, I mean, hats off to the Carolina Panthers for making that comeback and winning the game, but you can't blow a 17-point lead against the Carolina Panthers like that. You just can't, and keep your job, especially when you're 1-4.
No, you can't. And this thing, I like Mike McDaniel, and I think people are probably like, when you're winning, you can kind of get away with some of his like his quirkiness and his like way
right
stuff. But then once you start losing, you start stinking, and it's like, bro, I don't want to hear none of that. Like, I don't want to hear this bull. Like, no. And so I think his routine is definitely starting to get old. I'm trying to find the stat, because it says that Miami Dolphins are 34-25 against the Jets in Miami over their career, but I want to see the last 5. I don't think I saw them winning. I think last time they lost was 2022, maybe.
To the Jets in Miami, or just to the Jets in general?
I don't know. It doesn't specify. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Wait. No, this was in New York. So yeah, at least since before 2020. That's like the only loss that the Dolphins had to the Jets was in 2022.
Right, but it was in New York, I think. Yeah,
they lost last year. But
that
was in New York, also in New York. Yeah, that was also in New York. Yeah. So
I think they mentioned it. Like one of the guys mentioned it last week on the Monday night broadcast when they were playing, but I don't remember the year they said. I just know I think it was like a teen year for sure. It was the last time they won.
I'm trying to pull up Stat Muse, but yeah.
I'm just gonna ask GPT real quick.
But I think he will probably wind up being the first coach fired this year. My predictions, I hate predicting for people to lose their jobs, but I don't know. I feel like they say there's normally 7 coaches that get fired every year. And right now, I think we look at like Mike McDaniel. I think we look at Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, especially the way they lost. I mean, that wasn't on them. I mean, we could get to that in a minute, but just one of those crazy plays again, just stupid plays. But yeah, I think he could be on the chopping block. I mean, I don't think the Raiders, I don't think Carver or Glenn are there yet. This is their first year. And
but it was also last year was the first year as well.
True.
For
Antonio Pierce.
Pierce, yeah. I'm gonna put Pete Carroll just because, like, again, like with Pete Carroll, which we'll talk. Will we talk about the Seahawks too? No, we'll talk. I don't. Oh yeah, we'll talk about the Raiders in a little bit. But he's just
Right.
he's old. Don't get me wrong. Like Pete Carroll, like he has that that lineage, obviously. But like, dude is 74, and it's like he talking about he came here to win. Like he didn't come here to lose. But it's like, how much time do you like? Do you have enough time to turn this thing around? Because like the Raiders is just devoid of talent, direction from all across the board, up top to bottom. So it's like it's just kind of a calamity all around. But we'll talk.
That's what I was trying. Like a lot of my families jumped on like the North Carolina bandwagon because we're Patriots fans, and so they want to root for Belichick there. And a lot of my family's like, it's year one. I was like, bro, he's 73. Every year counts. It's like he's like 42 years old and he's like a new coach. Like he's 73. Every year counts. And it's like same with Pete Carroll. It's like he's 74 years old. I know this is year one, but okay, year two, he's 75. Year three, he gets it together. He's 76 years old. It's like, what are we doing here?
I'm pretty sure he only signed like a 3-year deal too. So it's like, and the rate again, this is like, I don't want to use a soccer analogy because I might lose some people, but like you can't have like an owner who's overreactionary and who's going to just change their mind so quick on a dime. But at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do? Like, it's similar to this happened in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest, Marinakis, their owners, fired their manager already. Now they got a new manager 7 games in. They lost all 7. And they're like, you know what? We'll probably sack him in the morning. Like the fans were chanting, you're going to get sacked in the morning. But then it's like you've sacked 2 managers before like the second international break. So what are you going to do? And so it's similar to like with the Raiders. If you fire Pete Carroll after this year, it's like who would want to come here? And then 2, it's like what are we going to do? What are we going to? Obviously, it's a job in the NFL, but it's like it's similar to what happened with the Texans, right? When they fired both coaches after 1 year, back to back, and it was like obviously now they got D'Amico, which kind of worked out for them, but at the same time, it's like how do you change the perception quick?
Yeah, I don't get like some of these. I think the Panthers did that like 2 years in a row. They fired back-to-back coaches after their first year. Yeah, and it's like
Frank, but that man
Frank Reich. Yeah, he was. Awful. Yeah, he wasn't good. But like, and then you're also paying like if you fire back-to-back, you're paying like 3 coaches at that point. Your current coach and the last 2 you just fired. It's like the Raiders aren't exactly like they have a ton of more money right now. Oh, sweet. The Patriots just got a fumble from the Bills. Sweet. But get back to the topic here. Like they got more money because they're in Vegas now, and like the NFL is making a ton of money, but they're not one of the more rich franchises in the league. So you can't be paying like 3 different coaches and then like your new head coach. And like, let's be honest, they're going to be in the quarterback market next year in the draft because Geno Smith ain't but here's the thing. Like we all thought there was like 5 or 6 good quarterbacks in college this year. All those guys don't look good. Like all those guys look like they need to stay another year in college. Or 2. Maybe Dante Moore from Oregon, but I think he'd have like 15 starts under his belt coming out. So I think he would have to stay another year. A lot of people like Mendoza from Indiana. I don't know if he's an NFL player. He's probably more of a college guy. But other than that, I mean, you got Klubnik, Arch, Aller, Sellers has been injured.
Don't even say
Arch. Arch is probably gonna, he'd probably be starting for like UTSA or somebody next year. But he's been awful. But even like Drew Aller yesterday, lose the freaking UCLA, and he looked bad. Klubnik's
Nico resurgence.
That game. I mean, I know we're an NFL channel, but that game, I remember I wasn't even gonna turn on that game because it was a CBS game, and I'm like halfway through, I'm like 27-7. Like that's got to be a typo. Like it's got to be the other way around, right?
Right.
Like nope. And so I think they're done for the playoff. But can't be losing to 0-4 UCLA. I thought UCLA was going to go 0-12. I thought that's like there was a good chance they go 0-12. Like Big Ten, they got to play Ohio State.
Defund the program, like get rid of it. To be honest, how bad UCLA has been.
Just play basketball. Just focus on basketball. That's what you do. But so I mean they'll be in the quarterback market, but I think the quarterback market is going to be super thin. Because a lot of these guys,
I think also obviously I'm actually excited that the college quarterback market is bad because of this fact is that the second chance quarterbacks that we've thrown out so quick, their market is going to be electric. I'm talking McCorkle Jones. I'm talking
no kidding.
Trey Lance.
Yeah.
I'm talking, shit, Cooper Rush.
He's a little rough today, but yeah, no, I hear you. And
Who else?
there's another guy.
Zach Wilson.
Zach
He's
Wilson.
still young.
Yeah.
Tua will probably be looking for a new job. Kyler Murray will probably be looking for a new place.
Yeah. For sure. Oh. Anthony Richardson, I know, and maybe he'll be playing tight end next year, but but he could be looking for
no.
But yeah, I think you could go to the well and see if you can get a Baker Mayfield or Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold kind of situation. Because Geno
Andy Dalton maybe, but he's
Andy
really
Dalton,
old too.
He's getting up there.
So
Carson Wentz looked decent this morning for Minnesota, but I mean, we'll see. They might just keep him and forget about McCarthy for a little bit. And then, of course, Stevenson fumbles right back because that's what Ramondre Stevenson does. Like, I don't know how he's in the game. I don't understand how he's in the game.
I need Henderson carries.
Yeah. Like this guy, all he does is fumble.
Which is a nice little segue over to the Commanders game and the return of that man, Jaden Daniels, back this week, and the resurgence of the Wild Bill today, which I don't understand why I was shouting. I lost my voice last week from shouting about why is Chris Rodriguez starting the game over Bill Krosky Merritt. I was incensed. If anybody was to start, if it wasn't Bill, I get Jeremy McNichols, right? See, seniority, whatever. You're talking about you're going to start Chris Rodriguez over Krosky Merritt. Chris Rodriguez was a practice squad guy. He got cut. I get it. We had a deep running back room, whatever. He got cut, and you bring him up, and he starts the week. Like, he starts ahead of Bill Krosky Merritt, and then you keep rotating all three backs. Like, what are we doing? Where every time he gets the ball, he looks electric. Every time he gets extended amount of carries, he's absolutely insane. Today, he had 16 touches, 14 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did fumble, which was terrible, but Andrew Wiley got beat by Tart, and then, he was in his lap so fast. And then he had 2 catches for 39 yards as well. Bill Krosky is a problem. He's so good. He led the league in yards, or he was second in the league in yards per carry before this week started. He had a 7.9 a carry today. And you're telling me you want to put in Chris Rodriguez, who averaged 1.4? I think our coaching staff was getting in their own way. They're trying to ease these rookies in. Ease them. Ease. How about you just let them sink? You know what I mean? Like, if they really like that, go them out there. Like, I've been shouting for Jordan McGee to play more. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Bobby. I love Bobby Wagner. I love him. He's great. He's a Hall of Famer. But he is a liability.
Yeah, he's
a liability in coverage. Jordan McGee is fast. He can play coverage. I think that our issue is don't get me wrong. Like, Oos and Wagner last year were playing so good. Luvu, they both were playing really good last year in terms of the run and trying to stop the run anyways. But they both are terrible in coverage. They both are. And they're not that fast out in space. So it's like to have both is I just think it's malpractice. And we have to figure out a new combination. And, the explanation I get from, Joe Witt is Bobby can just read things faster and you might take the rookie longer. I don't care. The rookie can make up with it with actual speed.
Right.
But team, obviously the Chargers came out. I mean, they were dominating early, and it was just a disgusting day in terms of penalties for both teams.
Sloppy for sure.
Ladd McConkey, took a punt to the house, and that was called back due to roughing the punter, so that kind of helped, and then that really kind of swung the momentum after the Chargers were up. 10-0, and then they scored 20 straight, and then I think they scored 27 straight points.
27, yeah.
And then, to win the game, which was a good win. Obviously, we still are lacking our starting right guard, our two of our top three receivers, and a competent defensive coordinator. And I think it's, for me, it's like, here we go again. But I think this team will be a down the stretch team, which I think will be fun to watch. I just think we're figuring out a lot of stuff and trying to tread water. As long as we stay above 500, around 500 until like the final stretch of the season, I think we're going to go on a run once we get everyone healthy and into a groove post our bye week. So it's like me trying to be rational, but also the fan in me just screaming at the top of my lungs every single day, watching the games. But Jaden looks back. The offense looks more competent. We finally went with Bill as the lead back, which I don't know why it took 3 weeks. And I don't understand how it took 3 weeks to be like, Bill's going to be our guy. Like, they're trying to make everyone earn it, bro. Don't earn it. Like, obviously he earned it. Like, but Bill earned it. Like, when you see him run and you see him make these violent cuts up the field and just get open and like spring up these, like, he like turns like a negative. Like, he had this run where Derwin James had him beat in the backfield. He shook the tackle, cut back to the right, and made a gain of like 11 yards. It's like, dude, right. It's hard to bring down, and every time he goes down, he springs up like his hand to get like another couple of yards. Like, he's just dynamic. That's the reason why people were so hyped about him, because they see the potential, they see the talent, and they're trying to like ease him in. Don't ease him in. Full throttle. Go full throttle with him.
Right.
And it's just so frustrating. And obviously, I hope Terry gets back, and everyone, on Twitter, the Commanders' Twitter, just obviously not very bright, but they're just like, Twitter. It's Twitter, but it's like, people are saying, this is why you don't pay. I'm like, people don't understand. When you have these long, drawn-out contract negotiations, because they do that and him not playing and practicing, this happens like every time, 10 times out of 10, or a player gets injured because it's the return back to play. And then obviously the teams gets that leverage at the end, and they're like, oh, see, you got hurt, because which that was one of his main things. Like, hey, he's been durable. But it's like, no, like, it's a freak injury, and whatever, who cares? What do you think about the Chargers? You got to keep this thing going.
Yeah, well, why he got paid was based off what he has done, not what he's like. It's like he's put together great years, especially with not great quarterbacks until last year. So it's like he's been consistent, and I'd like huge win. Like, you go across the country, you get your quarterback back. He's been gone for 2 weeks. He's a little bit rusty in the first couple of drives, but he shakes off that rust and turns it on. And yeah, like you said, Krosky Merritt, Bill had a great game. Finally, I could make him the RB1 and just forget about it. Debo had a really good game. So you found a way to win there. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, in the NFL, that's all you need to do. You played a good team, a team that's probably going to be a playoff team, the Chargers. You held them to 10 points. So your defense played well enough against a really good quarterback in Justin Herbert. And those receivers have been kind of balling out most of the season outside of maybe last week against the Giants with Allen, McConkey, and Quentin Johnston's been playing well. And you kind of kept them in check the whole game. I think Herbert was their leading rusher today. I think he had like 60 yards rushing.
Hampton also went off with an ankle injury today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not great.
So like they're real thin at the running back position. So I think the Chargers have some issues going forward. I thought they could last week. I thought they can kind of put a stranglehold on this division, but now they're letting the Chiefs right back in. And so that's not good for them. And so the Chargers have a lot of issues going forward. Joe Walt's kind of been in and out of the lineup. Obviously, you're not going to have Rashawn Slater all year. So I think Herbert's going to have to be like really, really good for them to kind of really compete at the top level. But the Commanders, you win that game. I think that last play, I think the Chargers thought they were just going to run around and like waste time. And then Jane Daniels like, screw it. Like, I'll just chuck it in the end zone. Someone's down there, and was it Debo that came down with it, or who caught the?
It was nice little. They did an all-out blitz, and then Jaden rolled out to the right with the crossing route with Debo in the back corner of the end zone.
But yeah, it's like this is the team that you guys thought you would have out. Maybe outside of the injuries going into the season, Jaden Mariota kind of kept the ship going a little bit. Was 1-1, so you guys weren't. It wasn't terrible under him, but yeah, you're just so much better with 5 back there. And so he did his thing. And like I said, you get a really good win on the other side of the country. And now you get to come home next week. I think you got a home game next week, right? And get back on track even more. So yeah, I just think it's a really good win in the NFL. It's a really good win to win on the road against a good team, a good, well-coached team in the Chargers. And you guys played good almost every level, ran the ball well, defense played well, and you got contributions from like guys in the receiving game. Like Luke McCaffrey had a big catch, but like guys I don't even really know. Jalen Lane, I don't know. It's like you got contributions from random dudes in the game, and so I just think it's a really good win, and that's good teams win those games, and so that's a really good win for the Commanders.
Heck yeah. Let's go to London across the pond, and the Vikings, who had a nice little 2-week residency over there, they get a win, a comeback win with a Carson Wentz legacy drive at the end with a touchdown to Jordan Addison. It was rocky. It was not the best at times, but Jordan Addison's back. JJ is rocking, and there's Jay Jettis, I should say, and then hoping JJ McCarthy comes back next week, or not next week, after the bye. So you get 2 weeks for JJ to come back. And hopefully things can start to ratchet up a little bit. But the Vikings are the Vikings. I think they're okay. We are going to see how they continue. Obviously, you have some key injuries with Aaron Jones, JJ McCarthy for them. But, man, the Cleveland Browns are just a scrappy team, huh? Like, they're probably just going to keep losing games, which is fine by me.
Right.
But like, I think they're going to be in them. I think Dylan Gabriel has some, he had a decent game today. Has some
first game.
Bad throws late.
For sure.
So it's like, he looked positive. He definitely is feeding the tight ends, which is good, for your fantasy teams. And he might be their answer short term. I don't know. But I don't know. London's are London games. They're always weird and wonky, but Vikings get the win. But I think Browns are just a tough team. Like, they're not going to be easy out. They're kind of like the Cardinals from last year. They're going to be, and they might be able to sneak up to not be the last team in the AFC North.
Especially with the way Baltimore with the injuries and
Baltimore
the way they're playing,
and Cincinnati. They might wind up being second in the AFC North.
They could be
kind of hilarious.
Which is wild. Yeah. No, I mean, the Browns, that defense is always going to keep them in games because that defense, they're just ferocious. They get after the quarterback. I mean, I felt bad for Wentz today. He was getting his ass kicked a lot of the game. So their defense is going to keep them in games. Gabriel started off the game well, like you said. I thought he played well in the first half. Second half was rough. Like, I think he had a stretch where he had like 6 or 7 incompletions in a row. Like, it was a rough way to end the game because I thought they had a couple chances to put the game away. They did a couple first downs and they could just kind of salt the game away, and they didn't. And then, kudos to Carson Wentz. You go down the field and you get a touchdown. I don't know what to make of the Vikings. Last week they looked awful in Dublin, and then like 2 weeks ago they looked great, and they hammered like the Bengals in week 2, or in week 3 they looked awful in week 2. I don't know what to make of them, and I don't know if getting JJ McCarthy back is going to help at all, to be honest. We've kind of made, sorry, Josh, who's our co-host, who's not on tonight. All of us, me, you, Jackson, have all kind of made our opinions pretty known about JJ McCarthy. And he's played 8 quarters and had 1 good one, and the rest of them have been like pretty bad. And so I just don't, which is crazy to think, because you just look at their receiving core with Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson. And then you have Jordan Mason, and it's like that. Their offensive roster has so much talent that it's like, just have like a somewhat competent quarterback back there. And like last year, Sam Darnold looked like he was like Tom Brady for half the year last year. And it's like Sam Darnold, he's turned his career around as a really good player. And I think they're kind of regretting letting him walk and going with JJ McCarthy the way that Sam Darnold's played.
Well, they also had Daniel Jones in
there. They also had Daniel Jones
there.
They had
Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold in the building last year, and they let both of them go for the rookie. Which I get it. You drafted. I think they drafted
him.
They traded up too in the first round.
They traded up for McCarthy, which I remember that too. So I was like, really? You're going to trade up for McCarthy? It's like, you could sit back and get Nix, which is kind of the same at that point, but at least Nix threw the ball more at Oregon and Auburn and had more experience. So it's like, I don't know what to make of the Vikings. I think in that division, it looks like the Lions have kind of taken over that division because the Packers have kind of had their struggles. So I think the Lions could take off, but I just don't see anything from the Vikings that makes me think that they can consistently be a good team. And
And they
I
got
don't
an
know,
early
like
bye, which is kind of terrible. But
early
I
bye.
mean,
So you're
it
gonna
could be
play
a
what,
good
10
right
games
for
in a row?
it could be a
Yeah.
get right for them.
It could be a get right for them, but like I said, like, yeah, you get McCarthy back, but is that an upgrade? I don't know. That's a big question mark for me. And so I don't even know if that's an upgrade. It's sad to see because that team is so talented. And I think Kevin O'Connell's a really good coach, but it's 2025 in the NFL. If you don't have a good quarterback, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a good quarterback to contend at this level. And I just don't know if they do, with Carson Wentz, of course, and then with JJ McCarthy. So I think both these teams probably not going to really be a factor in the long run, but Dylan Gabriel, not a bad first start. And then, yeah, just that Browns defense, I think, will always keep them in games and will always kind of make sure that they don't get blown out on a weekly basis.
Now I'm kind of wondering what would Sam Howell look like as their backup quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I feel like there's a handful of quarterbacks in this league that you can put into that team with Kevin O'Connell calling plays, and then you got the one or two best receiver in the league, and then you probably have one or two best receiving duo with him and Addison in the league. Hawkinson's a good tight end. It's like Jordan Mason can catch the ball in the backfield when Aaron Jones is back. He can catch the ball in the backfield. It's like you just got studs all over the place, and it's like, I mean, you watched that Sunday night game in week 2 against the Falcons, and McCarthy couldn't get them the ball to save his life, and it was just like, and that was most of the game against the Bears. So I just think this Vikings team, good that they got a win, because that 2-3 going into the bye would not be good for them. But I just don't see them doing anything major going forward, though.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to cut some stuff.
Do we want to talk about?
I have a question. I feel like we have to talk about it because I feel like it will get clicks. My shameless segment, but is Dak the best quarterback in the NFC East right now? Because honestly, as much as like bad has been happening with the Dallas Cowboys and their defense is god awful, but this offense is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And like I knew they were going to run the football. I knew like Brian Schottenheimer was going to really focus on being a run first team and then kind of building everything off of that. But I didn't expect them to run the ball well and then for Dak to just really be efficient. And obviously coming off that Sunday night tie last week, which was bizarre, they played really well. Dak today threw for 4 touchdowns, 18 to 29, 237, 4 touchdowns, and he also ran for 28 yards. Javonte Williams, 16 carries, 135 yards and a touchdown. I mean, I don't even know who Flournoy was, but 6 catches for 114 yards. Absolutely insane.
No kidding.
George Pickens, 2 catches, 57. Jake Ferguson, 2 touchdowns, 49 yards. Like, obviously, big Dak fan. But, like, I mean, they put up 37 today. They put up 40 last week. I mean, this offense is humming. Like, imagine if you put Dak Prescott on the Eagles right now.
Right. That's what I was going to kind of like get at a little bit, because it's like, as of today, right now, what is it, October 5th? October 5th, Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC East as of right now in October 5th. Would that be going forward? If I had to start a team today from the NFC East quarterbacks, I'd take Jaden Daniels. But right now playing, it's Dak Prescott. And that's the thing with Jalen Hurts. And that's why it's like, it's kind of everybody's hesitant to put him as a top 5 quarterback, because that team, that offensive line, that running game, those receivers, that defense, like they're just a stacked team. Like every single position group, they have guys that can be Pro Bowlers and all pro players, where it's like Dak, he's missing CeeDee Lamb. And so, he makes this guy Flournoy, who I didn't even know before today, really, has over 100 yards receiving. Jake Ferguson has probably one of the better gains of his career today with 2 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, I think that's really been huge for them, is getting that contribution from Javonte Williams. Like, he's been pretty good every week, starting with the opener against the Eagles. So that's really big if they can get a running game, because Dak's always been he's always been at his best when he has like an elite rushing game, whether it was Zeke back in the day or like whoever's his running back. Like when he has a balanced offense, he can be really good. But I mean, back-to-back weeks, you're scoring over 35 points. The Jets are bad, but it's still an NFL game. It's still a game where, everybody on the other side of the field is NFL players. So As of today, I will say Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC East. Would he be the guy that I would take on my team out of all four of those quarterbacks? No. And I think if you put him on the Eagles, you can clip this. This may not be the most popular thing, but I don't think their success would be much different. I think it would be pretty similar. Now, maybe Jalen doesn't have like kind of like Dak, because Dak can have those games where he's bad and he's just god awful and he throws 3-4 picks. Like, that's not really in Jalen's repertoire, but like, I don't know if Jalen has the highs. Like, I would say Dak has a higher ceiling, lower floor than Jalen. Like, Jalen has a higher floor but lower ceiling, but I don't know. You give him AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and time behind that running and Saquon Barkley, it could look pretty similar.
I will say my answer is I hate to say this. Dak Prescott is the best quarterback currently at today's date, October 5th, in the NFC East. And he's playing really good football right now. Will this last? Well, Dak in December is never a good thing. So we will see going forward. But Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFC East on October 5th.
Yeah, you have to put that qualifier in there. Keon Coleman just fumbled on like the 8-yard line. So Patriots got the ball, first down and goal here. So
why is Antonio Gibson getting the ball, not Trevion Henderson? But anyways.
As long as it's not Ramondre Stevenson, I'm okay. But yeah, it needs to be. Take his helmet away from him. Like take his helmet away, sit him down. But yeah.
All right, we're going to run through these last 4 topics here. Last 4, which these are just quick. Storylines and picks. Here we go. What has been your biggest storyline from week 5?
Biggest storyline from week 5 for me, and I think it's the biggest storyline in the NFL right now that not as enough people are talking about, and that is the Indianapolis Colts and Daniel Jones. 40-6. I know the Raiders are bad like this year outside of week 1, but they're bad. But 40-6, and they probably could have put 50-60 on this team. They kind of Anthony Richardson got a couple of series at the end there. That's how bad it got. Like it was bad, and it could have gotten even worse. Jonathan Taylor's playing really well, and it just shows you, like, as long as you have, like, it's kind of like the Minnesota Vikings. If you have a competent quarterback with those weapons, you can have really success. So Daniel Jones and the Colts are my storyline from week 5.
I try to tell you guys. I mean, it's a talented, like, again, like the Browns are a talented roster. The Colts are a very talented roster, but the thing that's been holding them back has been quarterback play. So
quarterbacks, yep.
My biggest storyline for week 5 is that the Titans might not be ass. You know, like, obviously having that big comeback win is very crucial by any means. Obviously needed a good, ball kick your way, something to go your way finally. And it did happen. And this could possibly lead for the Titans to kind of get on a bit of a roll and maybe try to stack some wins. Because Cam is probably the only bright spot on that team, but nothing else.
At least so far, yeah. So
it's like, if they can just get this offensive line back playing decent, and then get Cam some time to throw the ball, I think he can make plays. And I think, Elik Minor, he's one of my favorite receivers coming out of
Stanford. Yeah, I thought he was good
last year. Him and Torrey Horton, they're like my personal favorites. I'm like hoping they do really well. And they were good. And so I think the issue is just, maybe it's just something that stench. There's a stench in that locker room. So the biggest storyline for me in week 5 is the Titans, to keep it a buck, might not be so ass.
Yeah. They got like every bounce their way to win that game, but hey, that happens sometimes. And sometimes teams get that, they still find a way to lose. So you still found a way to win a game on the road. So that's really, they needed that like badly. And so that was huge for the Titans today.
And now let's put our prediction hats on. Pew, 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 pew. I can see the future. What will be the storyline that we are talking about next week? What will everybody be hyper focused on in week 6?
I think this is kind of this is the biggest game of the weekend next week, and that's the next Sunday night game. I think the biggest storyline will be the Lions go in to Arrowhead and go to 5-1 and beat the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. And storyline after that are the Lions back to being the best team in the NFC.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
A little spicy.
I like that. Okay, that's a good one. I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna do two. And do two. One is it time for Baltimore to make a change after 17 years at the helm? Is John Harbaugh still inept to being able to lead the Baltimore Ravens? I think that's what we're going to talk about because they play. Obviously, Lamar's going to be out another week, and then they play the Rams. So a tough team. A team's coming off like a mini bye after losing on Monday night or Thursday night football. I think that's going to be the storyline we talk about, especially after the drumming they got today by the Texans, like not even showing up to the field. And then the second one, because we have a big time 425 game next week, 49ers and Buccaneers, 2 4-1 teams.
Oh, don't do it. You're going to do it.
Should McCorkle Jones be the starting quarterback for the 49ers? Because this is a chance that, Brock Purdy could be back next week. And think about it. McCorkle, like, Shanahan wanted McCorkle over Trey Lance this whole time, which he also kind of. Then you start thinking about that, and it's like, then how quick he was to just jump ship from him, Trey Lance,
right?
Whatever. I hope he starts for a team next year. I think that's going to be obviously. This game is going to be electric. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But if Brock Purdy comes back next week and plays, and it's not, and then they don't play well and they lose, there's going to be a lot of people because McCorkle looked really good Thursday Night Football, and he's starting to get his rhythm. And
he looked great Thursday night. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And again, and then we can possibly have another situation similar to the Vikings where it's like, obviously McCorkle will get money to come here and start, like the Browns, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Cardinals, whoever, the Raiders. But then it's like, should I stay here where I'm happy and playing well with a competent coordinator? Or do I, go somewhere and try to be good elsewhere and make a name for myself? I don't know. Right. I think that's going to be a storyline that we're going to be watching out for next week.
Okay. And now I could see that. I mean, I know a lot of people have floated that out there. And a lot of people do kind of forget that was the guy he wanted. And was that the 2021 draft? That's the guy he wanted. And he got talked off of him. And it's like, he got him now.
I think he got vetoed by like the people in power. I think they went.
Yeah. I think Lynch and some guys kind of came down. Yeah, they're like, no, not gonna happen. But
which I get it because obviously if you can have a dynamic quarterback, like I think what Trey Lance is starting to grow into being able to use his legs. Like because not people are going to say this, but like Trey Lance looks a lot like Jordan Love. Like in terms of like how he's starting to play, especially at the end of last year when he's been coached by Mike McCarthy. I would not be surprised. Mark the day, October 5th, 2025. If Mike McCarthy becomes a head coach somewhere next year and the first move he makes, if they don't have a quarterback, is getting Trey Lance in there to be his starter next year. That would not surprise me one bit.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy, Miami Dolphins, Trey Lance.
I love that.
Probably not with Tyreek Hill, but you still have Waddle, you still have HN, you still have talent. So,
there's talent down there.
Yeah.
It just needs the structure. They just need to clean that whole building out, to be honest.
Yep.
All right, last two. Let's get our Sunday night football picks, and then we'll get out of here. Patriots are currently up 3-0 right now. This game is really sloppy on both sides, turning the ball over, fumbling. But who do you think will hold on to this? Obviously, you being a Patriots fan, do you think the Patriots will be able to hold on to this game, or do you think that similar to that Ravens game on Sunday Night Football, the Bills will figure it out in the last quarter?
Yeah, the Bills with Josh Allen, they seem to be like a second half team these last couple of years, and they find ways to win. So I'm going to obviously be rooting for the Patriots to win, but I think the Bills will probably find a way to win this game. But I do like the fact that they've already had 2 turnovers, so maybe the Patriots can kind of keep that going a little bit. But I think the Bills will find a way to win this game. But I think the Patriots will keep it close as they are doing right now. And if you keep it close, anything can happen kind of at the end of the game. And if they keep fumbling the ball, then just take Ramondre Stevenson out and don't let him fumble it back, so you can kind of capitalize. You got some points off of that turnover. Would have been nice. You got the ball on like the 11-yard line to get in the end zone, but I'll take 3. It's better than nothing.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Bills. I just think the Bills are probably gonna figure it out.
Unfortunately, they probably will. Yeah.
All right, and lastly but not least, let's go with Monday Night Football tomorrow. We got Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I am actually going to go with Duval. There's something about this team. Like, there's something about this Liam Cohen team. Obviously, I'm not going to confront Liam Cohen about his legal sign stealing that Robert Salah was talking about last week when they played against each other, or 2 weeks ago now. But I think this team is talented. I think Trevor's, they're stacking good games. I don't know what the hell they're doing with Travis Hunter. We'll figure that out as the year goes on.
I don't even think they know what they're doing with him.
Right. And then, Travis Etienne is actually back, which I didn't expect that. Like, they traded Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby was their best running back. But anyways, Michelle Tootin is still trying to, get going as well. So it's like they got a good running game. Some decent receivers. Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. has been struggling a little bit this year.
Yeah, no kidding.
What?
I was gonna say I'm gonna roll with you. I'm gonna roll with the upset. I think Jacksonville, they're 3-1. They got a win on the road last week at San Francisco. One of the then they kind of put it to the Niners a little bit. So they're playing really good defense.
Is questionable too. He just became questionable with the shoulder and ankle.
Yeah, he's questionable again. And like, they won big last week over Baltimore, but that could be more of a Baltimore issue than them. And and I think this is the week that Brian Thomas kind of gets back to the Brian Thomas we saw last year, and of course at LSU. So I don't know if it's a tough place to play. I think the Chiefs will probably have plenty of fans down there, but I think the Jags sneak a victory here. Maybe get to Mahomes a couple of times and get that going a little bit. But I think they could sneak a victory. I definitely like them plus 3.5, which I think is a spread right now.
That's pretty good. I do like that. Yeah, I think Trayvon Walker's going to ball out. And I feel like there's a lot of Trayvon Walker slander, but not realizing
because he's
actually
he was picked over Hutchinson. I remember the accent where he was.
He's not as good, but he's like he had 10.5 sacks the last 2 years, and he stops the run and rushes the pass. But he's he does it in a way that like no one talks about. Like, no one talks about Jacksonville like that. You know what I mean? But he's not flashy. Really good. But he's been good and solid. So, I mean, it won't surprise me when he gets his contract extension. People are like, whoa, he got overpaid. It's like, obviously you don't watch football.
It's a pass rusher. Pass rushers are going to get paid. Young pass rushers are going to get paid. Like, it's just going to happen.
Especially when you're Jerry Jones, you don't sacks multiple years. I mean, he's been continuously getting better. So, but anywho, and last comments before we wrap this thing up From the Sidelines?
No, I mean, I had one other storyline for next week. I thought you got your kind of little revenge game next Monday night, the Hail Mary game, revenge of last year's Hail Mary game. You got the Bears at Commanders, number 1 and 2 pick from last year. Caleb's playing better. Jaden's back, so it's like, maybe we'll get a little bit there. I don't think they're coming off a bye.
That's kind of not fair. You get a bye week and then you get the last game of
you get it like an extra long time. Yeah. So it's like, you don't have to travel till Sunday if you don't want to. Like, you can wait or Saturday night. So that'll be interesting. I think that'd be a good game. The Bears seem to be figuring out the offense a little bit under Ben Johnson.
Big time block last week against the Raiders. Because I think the Raiders could have had a way better energy in the building if they would have
won that game.
Field goal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. I think that could be a big storyline. That'll be an interesting. It's another doubleheader Monday night. I don't like those. It's like, but whatever. I'll be watching that one over Bills Falcons most likely. But Bills Falcons could be interesting too. But Bears Commanders, see if we can get a little bit. See if the Bears can get a little bit of revenge. They thought that they had one last year, but
I don't want no revenge. I don't want no more Hail Mary. I don't want no more Hail Noah. But it would be fitting if Noah Brown makes his return this year to play against the Chicago Bears. That would be kind of funny.
Right. Is Stevenson the corner? Is he still on the team? Who was it?
He
Was it
is,
Steven?
but I
Yeah.
can't remember if it was him or he might be dealing with injury. One of their corners are dealing with injury, might be out for the year. I can't remember.
I was saying, was he the guy last year that was celebrating and then ran over and tipped the ball? Yeah. It's like, geez. So yeah, as long as he's not on the team, I think maybe that'll help a little bit. But I don't know. Yeah,
we're gonna see. But thank you guys for watching. This has been From the Sidelines. I've been CJ. That is Cody. We're here every single Sunday at 8 o'clock talking NFL, talking about what our big storylines are, our picks. Make sure you keep it tuned here. Tell your friends, and we will catch you guys next week. Have a great rest of your night.